The era of royal silence is officially dead. And what has replaced it is something far more clinical and dangerous. For nearly a century, the British monarchy operated under single unbreakable rule: never complain, never explain. But as we move deeper into 2026, that rule hasn't just been broken, it has been incinerated. The gloves are off, the palace gates are locked, and the House of Windsor is doing something the world never thought possible. This isn't just a petty family spat anymore. This is an institutional execution. If you thought the drama between the palace and the Sussexes reached its peak years ago, you were wrong. It has evolved into a full-scale war for survival. And Prince William is the one standing at the helm, with a level of cold-blooded resolve that has left even the most seasoned courtiers in shock. We are witnessing the birth of a new kind of monarchy, one that no longer asks for respect but demands total accountability. It all began with a leak that sent a literal tremor through the halls of Windsor. Imagine a cache of private strategy notes, leaked letters, and digital communications from 2021 to 2023 suddenly falling into the hands of those in the inner circle. These weren't just letters between family members. They were a tactical roadmap of the Duchess of Sussex's media strategy. Among the most damaging revelations was a specific sentence that reportedly changed Prince William's mind about his brother forever. The Duchess allegedly wrote that if the king would not safeguard her, then the narrative would safeguard her instead. To the palace, this was the smoking gun. It wasn't just a woman venting her frustrations. It was evidence of a calculated, professionally managed campaign designed to use the crown's own reputation as a weapon against it. In the world of the royals, reputation is the only currency that matters. If someone is actively devaluing that currency to build a rival brand in Hollywood, it is no longer a family feud. It is a systemic threat that must be neutralized. But that was only the beginning of the end. While the public was busy dissecting the latest gossip, a much more clinical plan was being drafted inside the private offices of the king. King Charles, facing his own significant health battles and realizing that the old ways of passive endurance were failing, signed what insiders call Memo 2485. In royal circles, this document is known as the Full Mandate. It was an unprecedented command that handed the Prince and Princess of Wales total and absolute responsibility for handling anything related to the Sussexes. No more committees, no more soft-handed PR, and no more wait-and-see approaches. Prince William was effectively named the Commander-in-Chief of the Sussex situation. This was a massive shift in the power dynamic of the British state. Usually, the sovereign handles these high-level family disputes, but King Charles knew the institution needed someone with more energy and a far more direct, uncompromising approach. By giving Prince William this power, the king was sending a loud, clear message to California. The future king isn't going to play nice anymore. Under the strict rules of Memo 2485, Prince William became the only person authorized to speak for the family regarding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The goal was to create a unified front that could not be pierced by tabloid speculation. No more anonymous palace sources giving conflicting reports. It was to be one voice, one narrative, and one vision. And that vision was being carefully architected by the Princess of Wales herself. Behind the scenes, Catherine, Princess of Wales, wasn't just recovering from her health challenges. She was allegedly the one shaping the overarching media strategy. She understood better than anyone that the monarchy's survival depended on its image as a symbol of duty and service. Anything that distracted from that had to be neutralized with surgical precision. The new protocol included legal criteria for what they called privilege suspension, along with formal administrative procedures that could be triggered the moment a new attack was launched from the US. The era of the royals sitting back and taking the hits was over. But what happened next would leave everyone involved reeling. Before the Iron Fist was fully revealed, Prince William reportedly tried one last time to reach out to his brother. In late 2025, a private phone call took place between the two princes. Sources say Prince William wasn't looking for an apology or a tearful reconciliation. He was looking for correction of the public record. He wanted the truth out there about how the family had actually treated Meghan Markle, specifically regarding what he called detrimental statements made about his wife. But Prince Harry's response became the final turning point. He reportedly told Prince William that if he changed the narrative now, he would lose everything he had built in his new life. For Prince William, that was the final nail in the coffin. He realized his brother was choosing a manufactured public persona over 1,000 years of familial loyalty. One of Prince William's closest aides famously said that the prince no longer feels the need to defend his brother. He is now endorsing the institution's survival instead. This wasn't a decision made out of anger. It was made out of cold, hard necessity. Prince William saw that the Sussex brand was built entirely on the back of royal drama. As long as they remained linked to the family, the drama would never end. He had to build a wall, not just a physical one, but a legal and symbolic one that Prince Harry could never cross again. He decided the best place to unveil this new world order was the one place the media could never ignore: Kensington Palace. He didn't hide behind a spokesperson or a leaked statement. Prince William stood in the picture gallery, looking directly into the lens of the cameras. He was composed. He was direct. And he was lethal. He didn't use the flowery, polite language usually associated with the royals. He stated clearly that no member of the family had harassed the Duchess, nor had anyone shown preferential treatment toward Catherine, Princess of Wales, at Meghan Markle's detriment. He was calling out the claims directly, framing the current situation as a consequence of Meghan Markle's own decisions and her continued efforts to undermine the integrity of the institution. But Prince William didn't stop at words. He brought evidence. He spoke about deliberate media manipulation and sponsored placements in US media, allegedly designed to damage Catherine, Princess of Wales' reputation during her most vulnerable moments. The palace had been tracking these stories for months, identifying which PR firms were involved and how algorithmic amplification was being used to drown out the royals' legitimate work. By framing these attacks as commercial content rather than genuine reporting, Prince William opened the door for a new kind of response: legal action. He wasn't just fighting a family member anymore. He was fighting a corporate entity. And his next move involved a surprising figure, one that caught even the most seasoned journalists off guard. In a move that stunned the public, Prince William brought up Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. He alleged that Meghan Markle had been attempting to use Sarah Ferguson's past conflicts with the family to build a kind of rebel coalition within the firm, even placing pressure on Catherine, Princess of Wales, while she was undergoing treatment. By bringing this into the light, Prince William effectively neutralized Sarah Ferguson as a potential pawn and sent a message to every other member of the family: if you aren't with us, you are against us. Then came the most devastating comparison of all. Prince William explicitly stated that the institution has accountability standards that apply to everyone, and he specifically mentioned Prince Andrew. By placing Meghan Markle in the same category as one of the most disgraced royals in modern history, Prince William was signaling that the consequences for her actions could be just as severe. Prince Andrew lost his patronages, his duties, and his public standing. Prince William was making it clear that the Sussexes were on the same path. The strategy of non-engagement became the new law of the land. Prince William told the press he would no longer acknowledge or react to any Hollywood criticism or media requests regarding Prince Harry. He was cutting the oxygen off the fire. If the Sussexes wanted to sell their story, they could, but they would no longer receive a royal response to amplify their narrative. The palace's media strategists were betting that without the constant back and forth, the Sussex storyline would eventually lose its appeal. They were betting on royal fatigue. But even that wasn't the whole story. The most sensitive part of this unfolding situation concerned the children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. In a rare break from silence, Prince William spoke about them with deep concern, stating that they deserve stability and a childhood free from public unrest. While the palace clarified this was not a custody threat, the message was clear. The institution was watching closely how those children were being presented in the media. The public reaction in the UK was swift, and overwhelmingly in Prince William's favour, with polls showing massive support for this tougher stance. Many saw a leader finally standing up for the monarchy. In the United States, however, the reaction was far more divided. Some viewed it as an oppressive move by an old institution, while others saw it as a necessary defence. This transatlantic divide is exactly what the palace is now managing. They understand they may lose the popularity contest in Hollywood, but they are determined to win the war for institutional continuity in London. As the dust began to settle, the final nuclear option was prepared: Order W17. This wasn't just a memo. It was a formal request to the Privy Council to strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their remaining titles. This is 1936 abdication level serious. If Order W17 were to be fully enacted, it would mark a total constitutional separation. British embassies around the world would be instructed to no longer recognise Prince Harry or Meghan Markle as representatives of the Crown in any capacity. Their access to royal properties would be permanently revoked. Their names would be removed from all ceremonial listings. It would be as if they never existed in the official royal record. The legal hurdles for Order W17 are enormous, and the palace's attorneys are working around the clock to ensure it can withstand judicial scrutiny. They are examining the 1917 Titles Deprivation Act and administrative law to find the most procedurally legitimate way to sever these ties. They want to avoid a public legal battle at all costs, aiming instead for quiet administrative offboarding. It's a cold way to end a relationship, but in the eyes of the palace, it may be the only way to protect the future. Throughout all of this, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has remained the picture of calm authority. Just days after the scandal broke, she appeared at a paediatric centre, her presence sending a clear message of resilience and duty. The palace used this contrast to reinforce their narrative. One side represents service, the other represents scandal. These events in 2025 and 2026 are not just a footnote in a family dispute. They mark a turning point in history. The monarchy has shifted from passive endurance to proactive control. Under Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, the institution has redefined its boundaries. Whether this new model will succeed in the long run remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the era of the soft monarchy is over. The age of accountability has begun. A massive gamble. It exposes the family's internal conflicts, but it also gives them the power to control the narrative for the first time in years. As King Charles continues to focus on his health, the world is getting a front-row seat to the reign of Prince William before it has even officially begun. And if these past few months are any indication, it will be a reign defined by strength, accountability, and a total refusal to let the crown be exposed ever again. But this protocol isn't just about public speeches. It's about what happened behind the closed doors of Windsor during that emergency summit. Imagine 8 of the most powerful figures in Britain, not politicians, but the men in grey, legal counsel, and risk assessment specialists, gathered in a war room. They weren't looking at PR polls. They were analysing the survival of the constitutional monarchy in a digital age. They realised that in the 21st century, a narrative can be just as dangerous as a revolution. So they made a decision. Treat the Sussex media machine like a hostile corporate entity. By the time Prince William stood at Kensington Palace, he was armed with data, timestamps, and a legal strategy designed to hold up in court, not just trend on social media. The response from California was immediate and intense. Within 72 hours, the Montecito team launched a 3-phase crisis management blitz. Phase 1 followed the familiar path, the victim narrative. But this time, the palace didn't stay silent. They issued a categorical denial almost instantly, effectively framing that narrative as a calculated business strategy. Phase 2 shifted toward empowerment and reinvention, health ventures, investments, and documentary projects. But this is where the palace's new strategy struck back. By stripping away the royal brand through administrative measures, they made that pivot significantly harder. Because without royal status, the generational trauma narrative begins to lose its market value. In effect, the palace was devaluing the Sussex brand in real time. The legal reality of Order W17 is perhaps the most unsettling part of this entire saga. Stripping titles isn't as simple as updating a website. It involves letters patent and a deep dive into constitutional law. Some legal scholars are already calling this the most significant royal separation since 1936. But unlike 1936, which was about a king choosing love over duty, 2026 is about the crown choosing survival over a prince. The legal teams are navigating a constitutional grey zone that could take years to fully resolve. And through all of this, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has emerged as a central force, her influence reaching a level that even Queen Elizabeth II might have admired. At one point, she reportedly said, "I forgive her, but I will not accept her suffering as my duty." That single line has become the unofficial manifesto of the new monarchy, a fusion of empathy and institutional strength. By shifting the focus to her philanthropy and unwavering sense of duty, Catherine, Princess of Wales has positioned herself as the moral authority within the royal family. While others chase headlines, she is building legacy. The stakes could not be higher. If Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, succeed, they will have effectively rebooted the monarchy for the 21st century. If they fail, they risk reducing the royal family to just another reality-driven spectacle. But judging by the resolve emerging from Kensington Palace, their direction is clear. They are no longer seeking quiet reconciliation. They have chosen transparency. They have chosen accountability. And they have chosen a future where the crown is never vulnerable again. A public line in the sand. The message is clear. The crown is no longer just a symbol. It is a powerhouse that knows exactly how to protect itself. The world is now watching to see whether this new aggressive stance will finally bring the peace the palace seeks, or if it will only fuel a fire that has been burning for over half a decade. But one thing is certain. Prince William is no longer playing the role of the supportive brother. He has stepped fully into his position as protector of the realm, and he is willing to sacrifice everything, even his own blood, to ensure that the British monarchy endures for another 1,000 years. The battle lines have been drawn. The orders have been signed. And the future of the House of Windsor has never looked more uncertain, yet more determined. But the true genius of the Wales Protocol isn't found in what is being said. It lies in what is being erased. As 2026 unfolds, the palace has quietly initiated a process of administrative distancing, far more effective than any public confrontation. This is the digital age version of Exile. By leveraging Order W17, the palace isn't just removing titles. It is systematically separating the Sussex brand from the British state. Behind the scenes, the official royal website is being restructured, placing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle at the very bottom of the hierarchy, beneath even minor royals who rarely appear in headlines. It's a deliberate form of algorithmic suppression, designed so that when the world searches for the British royal family, the California branch barely registers. This strategy of digital exile reportedly accelerated following the shocking arrest of Prince Andrew in February 2026. While the world reacted to the legal fallout surrounding the Duke of York, Prince William used the moment to draw a permanent boundary. He made it clear. Institutional protection is reserved only for those who serve the institution. By allowing the legal process to unfold for Prince Andrew, Prince William sent a chilling message to California. If the crown will not shield a king's brother, it certainly will not protect a distant prince from irrelevance. The palace is no longer a shield. It is a gate. And for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, that gate has been firmly and permanently closed. As the Sussexes attempt to launch new ventures, including their rumoured Camelot project in Australia, they are discovering that the royal oxygen they once relied on is no longer there. Without the constant back and forth with London to sustain their narrative, the Sussex brand is now forced to stand entirely on its own. And the market is proving to be an unforgiving judge. In this new era, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are not just winning the PR war. They are ending it. Their strategy is clear. By 2027, the Sussex saga will no longer be a scandal. It will simply be history. The era of the soft monarchy is over.